Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Trackmania Grand League Open. It is week number 2, qualifier number 2 now. I am your host today, Hunted. Here joining me is Foof. Foof, how are you doing, sir? We saw you on the Wednesday shows a couple times, but it's glad to have you on the cast.
It's a quick turnaround, and I'm so thrilled to be here. I'm ready to dive back into these maps I got to talk about this past Wednesday. And so, I technically have a little bit of pre-hand knowledge, but I'm ready to see so many community figures and so many of possibly you, Twitch chat, running these maps as well, and see if we can get some interesting new lines.
And it was, for anybody who missed that show on Wednesday, by the way, it was pretty fun.
So fun.
You had Mutta on as well. Got to talk to the week number 2 champion in the Tmgl, so that was pretty cool. So make sure you check that out on Wednesdays if you haven't. But anyway, we're here for the Open League this time around. Again, it is the second week of qualifying. We are looking for the top 4 players here today to qualify through to that final here in just about a month's time. And for anybody who is just joining us, the players right now, they are going through a time attack phase that's open to the public. Exactly. And we're going to find the top 64 times. They are qualifying on Water Glider and Tightrope today. 2 very difficult maps to qualify. So to get a top 64 time here, Foof, is an accomplishment on its own.
I mean, I can't remember the exact scientific term right now, but the Great Wall that some species have to quote-unquote get through, that's what I feel like these 2 tracks are to get into this event today. So, we're going to have some very quality, at least players coming in once we get into this top group of 64. And so you have to bring your best in these first 2 tracks to now make it over that intimidating hurdle.
And just for anybody who missed last week, the 4 who did qualify, Panda, Barbos, Milio, and Jean-René, wowed us with their performances. Panda had a fantastic week, leading just about every single group he was in, winning the entire thing as well. So Panda looking very, very good, and we are excited to see all 4 of them in the final. But like I said, we're looking for a new 4 today, and after the time attack is over, which should be here in just a couple of minutes, we'll jump into the round of 64. And again, for anybody who hasn't watched the Open, it does differ a little bit from the Challenger and the TMGL. In the fact that we don't see the players kind of swap positions or anything. It's just you have to be top 2 in your group to move on. So we start at round 64. We cut the players in half. Exactly right. Down to eventually the top 8, where that's where the qualifying then happens.
I mean, you think of Trackmania being half in consistency basis and trying to be based on that. It's now consistency of winning and staying alive, especially in this single elimination format. You have to bring your best every single time, and even if you finish in that, you get that chance to get the finalist, you are not safe. You have to win it, folks, to stay alive.
And of course, as long as you're staying in the top 2 in your group, you will continue forward. And like I said, we will find 4 more players today. And it was a lot of fun last week when we were here. We actually saw Water Glider and Tightrope as 2 of the earlier rounds. Those, I'm assuming, will be a bit later. But again, it's a tough qualifier to get through, just because, again, those are 2 of the more difficult maps, at least in my opinion. Very technical, especially the identities make it very difficult to run full speed and obviously get your fastest times. But for the top 64 players, hopefully they'll be warmed up and ready to go into round 64 here.
I can't imagine overcoming Tightrope and Water Glider and then being cold, Hunted. Can you imagine the absolute stride you would take if you hit a top 64 time? Like, I'm cold. I'm still going to get warm when we get to the main stage. Like, goodness.
Yeah.
But the only thing that really saddens me, Hunted, and Twitch chat, is that we don't get to watch that Tightrope, because Tightrope is such a fun track. You get to see who wants to risk it and make that kind of riskier finish on trying to maintain and get as much speed on those Tightropes, whereas playing it safer. And so that for me is my favorite part to watch, is who can find that angle to try and win it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And as we are getting things ready to go for this second qualifier, I'm not quite sure. We will have a list of participants here in just a couple of moments, so we'll be able to sort of run through that. And if it was anything like last week, we should definitely have some community favorites and a lot of known players looking for their second opportunity to qualify here today.
Now, Hunted, I have a very important question for you. Do you think it's a more important thing to win early and kind of secure that berth into the final groups, or wait until later so that way you can get more and more practiced as this season goes on towards the finals?
Well, I mean, that is always kind of the question. You know, you have somebody who's coming in hot out of Qualifier 4, for instance, who's just really on top of their game and beats the entire field. Obviously, they have that momentum. But at the same time, for the last 4 qualifiers, for instance, we had, they know that they're in. They know when, their next appearance is, and you can put in the grind leading up to that, right? It's not like you have to grind super hard every week now just to make it there. You can kind of work it out, make sure that you're not burning yourself out on different tracks or whatever. Even having to worry about getting there, you can start the grind now, and when the time comes, that's the other thing too. To get into the Challengers League, as I believe we are jumping into the round of 64. It looks like we are going to start things off here on Grassline. To just qualifying for the final gives you a really good chance of making into Challengers, because I believe it's the top 6 the top 4 from the regular season, I believe, does get a promotion directly into Challengers. Doesn't even have to go through the promotional field. So
that is always a feels good moment, Hunted, just kind of getting all of that work to pay off. And at this point now, we're trying to see if the work can pay off, but Orca catches the wall. That means Wizzy right now up to a very good start in this first round and just currently holding this lead.
So round number 1, we've got Wizzy in the lead. He was a player who made it pretty deep into the qualifiers last week. I expect him to have another good week here. Of course, wanting to improve on his finish. He is in the lead now as we come up towards the ever-important dirt stage right before the identity of this track. And if you haven't seen it, it's a pretty fun one right here towards the end. A nice bug slide into the no-slide finish. And Wizzy, he'll take the finish there. Nice and easy for him, taking the first victory here and pushing himself ever closer.
I mean, you talk about the great finish there from Wizzy, who just got out to such a big lead early, but oh my goodness, did you see that grass slide from Orca? If he does not end up hitting this wall early, I think this could be one to watch for, especially if he can get as much of a run as he did at the end.
Well, Darker is running right behind Wizzy, and you're right. I think the only problem is Wizzy has been so fast. At least to open the tracks these first 2 times that both Darker and Orcas have really had to play catch up. But as I say that, Darker, a nice little line there through the no engine zone. And Wizzy going to have to fend off a couple of challengers here towards the final.
Well, the only challenger right now is him trying to look out of that rearview mirror possibly, just holding that line and trying to maintain. Darker, though, trying to close this gap in doing so well, only about 1/10 behind, losing a little bit there. It's going to be important here to land at the slide. I love the look. That's going to cut inside, but he cuts too close, flying too close to the sun. Icarus loses his wings, and Wizzy takes win 2.
And it wasn't a perfect finish for Wizzy either. The bug slide was good, but the final turn there, a little bit slow, took it kind of a little bit awkwardly, couldn't quite recover, but he does get his second victory there. So let's see, can he pull off 4 straight? It does take 4 in the openers, or in the open league here, to qualify for the next round. A little bit different than the 3 wins it takes in the Challengers and Grand League, but Wizzy again out to an early lead here in round number 3. Mokura and Darker giving chase. Again, Darker keeping pace with Wizzy fairly well. And I like the way Mokura takes that that sort of like half, like the little bowl there. Gives him a lot of speed coming out, but he does lose a little bit there as Wizzy again through the dirt into the transition. Looking pretty speedy here. Darker going to have a good bug slide to try to catch up to this one, and he finds it. Will he be able to hold on? Just can't quite do it. And that's going to be Wizzy taking a third.
Wizzy just looking like a well-oiled machine. And you talk about Darker found it, but the only thing he ended up finding at the end of it was just a bit too much momentum. And now with a single finalist situation here, Wizzy doing exactly what they need to do and getting out in front to an early start. But now they're usually up ahead by a bit of a tenth or two here, so a lot closer of a start. You see all three of these cars, but there is the momentum. There it is, continuing to hold it through these turns and just starting to pull away.
Now, let's not forget what happened last week. We saw some drama early on. A couple of players with the finalist, and it actually took, two DNFs. You had both Orcas and Darker. So only Mokura to hold off here for Wizzy, and he will have a free pass into the round of 32. And yeah, as you can see, almost a full second. Much farther behind, 4 seconds now for Mokura, as it's going to be Wizzy, assuming he can keep it on the track. Even if he can't, as long as he can just cross this checkpoint, and there you go. Taking it easy, knowing he's got the final. Hey, look, man, he had all those seconds to make up, and he uses them all. So congratulations to Wizzy. He will move on to the round of 32, and now it's a three-man race for essentially
the first win.
It's essentially a reset here with 3 now.
It's a reheat, basically. And with no one really having any tracks, and so far it's just wondering who can find the cleanest line, because they all have been very tight at differing points in the tracks to finding those little margins of either gain or loss. And so Orca, usually the one that was hunting, was down, but you wonder if Mokura can slowly reel him back in. You're watching here those two fighting over, but Orca just diving in beautifully to hold on to this lead right now.
And Darker, however, he's been in a lot of these rounds with Wizzy out in front. He's trying to track down Orcas. We've seen good bug slides out of both players.
Beautiful.
You can see Darker with a much better line, a lot of exit speed there. He is going to gear up through the dirt section into the bug slide. Orcas won't be able to hang on, and that should be a Darker victory. They'll just sneak in under that bar, and Mokura just kind of playing second fiddle a lot so far. But it's Darker to take the first, or to take his first round, I should say, as again we have this three-man race for the final.
I think Mokura is just trying to chill in that catbird seat, wondering if both players perhaps are going to mess up, but just kind of nipping at their heels close enough to be in the spot if anything happens. But it was just an incredible run from Darker to reel Orca back in and then finish it. Orca, I love this personality coming out from just someone driving a car. They are willing to risk it every time. They'll dive it into those. They've gone off even twice, but they are not slowing down, Hunted. They want to push it every time.
Well, you say that, and then he unfortunately just got to tap that wall. And now we'll have to play a little bit of catch-up here. Mokura, the only challenger to Darker at the moment, as we approach the identity one final time. Very quick track, very fast track, as you can see, with the best time, a minute 3. And both players gonna tap. Can Orcas catch up? Mokura just gonna sneak through. Orca's not able to get there in time. Neither one of the other two players are going to finish. So we have 2 players now with a round win under their belts.
I mean, Mokura just had enough of the foot tappingness to stay alive there. Just, physics was certainly on the pink car's side at the end of the day. So able to get their first win under their belt and try and fight Darker. But Darker is just kind of putting everything behind them in this one, including the competition, out to an early jump and just landing these turns cleaner and cleaner. Orca once again running behind, trying to find another way in. All three of these players trying to find any point in this track where they can close this gaps and try and put the other group away.
And if you're Wizzy, it's quite a show. You get to watch here as you await your round of 32 appearance. As Orca is going to take the lead. Able to cut that turn well, nicely as well. And through the dirt into the final section. Does he have a challenger? Darker DNF. Mokura 3.5 seconds behind. Orcas will now take his first round win. So it looks like here, Foof, we've got quite the marathon, round ahead of us.
Well, Hunter, what more could you ask from the very first group that survived the gauntlet? I mean, Wizzy obviously sitting back. I wonder if he's got the hands behind the head and the feet kicked up on the desk. But, right now it is a show for everyone involved. And, I think there has to be that little bit of nerves knowing that you're on stream, knowing that every lap you run needs to be so crucially important to try and find any time at all to get you another win.
And it's only going to get more difficult from here as well. As Mokura with a little bit of a tap. That's going to give Orcas a ton of purchase. Darker already DNF. Mokura going to stick with it, and for good reason. Again, the identity, it's not a foregone conclusion on this map. But Orcas has been pretty good at it, especially given enough space. He was in a pretty similar situation to what Wizzy was in his final round, and he will take the bug slide very, very well, and that'll be a second round win here for Orcas.
Second coming through, Mokura trying to make that turn, but a little bit too aggressive, sliding off the edge. And so I love to talk about how Orca is so aggressive, but he saw he had a 2-second lead, just realized to not check it down, but just stay in control. And so now we have a 2-1-1, and I wonder if we're going to go to get all twos, perhaps, for to move on again.
Orca's officially barred from crossing the finish line first before his competitors. But Darker will take the lead to open this round up here. Orca's giving chase, less than a tenth of a second behind. Bit technical through here, and again that turn coming out of the no engine zone has given a couple of players in this lobby trouble. Orcas will clear it. He's got Darker in his sights. It's going to come down to the dirt transition into the identity. Who takes this the best? An inside line there from Orcas. Mokura not too far behind. And this is going to be a race to the finish. Orcas, he checks up. I don't know if he hit something or if he slowed down, but Darker hit! No, he hit! Orca! Are you kidding me? Orcas comes out ahead.
Oh my gosh! It was Giga Brain 200 IQ Galaxy Strat to tap the jump and watch the pandemonium ensue. Wow. And now Orca is the finalist.
Wow. I thought Mokura had it locked up and just ran straight into the checkpoint. That's a heartbreaker there. And it's got to feel bad for Darker too. He had a pretty good line, but just couldn't quite get around that final turn. So Orca's looking to play with a lot of confidence now, has that finalist tag and in the lead in this round. Will he qualify through? That is the big question now. Got to be careful around this turn. And you can see Darker taking that much faster, and he will take the lead. I think Darker driving with a little bit of anger this time.
I don't want to say tilted perhaps, but certainly intense, and it's going back the other way. Orca though diving and having to brake early. These two turns, the grass into there is where you see a lot of speed coming from both of these cars. It's who can find the finish. Can Darker hold off Orca? Can Orca force a finalist? It's a mess up. He just has to finish it. He's gonna walk it across the line.
Wow, unbelievable. Orca's breaks our stalemate with 3 in a row there towards the end to join Wizzy in the round of 32. Well played to the entire lobby. A little bit of drama there as well, but in the end,
just a little bit.
In the end, it is Wizzy and Orcas to go to the next round. So congratulations to them. We may be jumping into another matchup here if we have a couple more going in the round of 64. So give us just a moment and we'll get you back into some more Trackmania action. But looking at, that last round, certainly a lot of fun. Drama at the end as well, and that's what we expect.
I mean, it was just incredibly wild as we quickly drop in. And we have a very similar situation, it seems. We're one finalist and then a lot of others chasing the fumes there.
Well, Hugo already qualifying. It does look like... so there you go. So Jabel will take his first of the round, and it does look like this one nearing its end. However, it's not over till it's over. We have seen some crazy comebacks in the open division before. But
start there tight from all three, hunted, but very quickly that card in red starting to pull out, but not by much.
And I have to say, with the performance that Hugo had in the last qualifier, really not surprised to see him being the first out of this group, certainly. And I expect him to have a pretty good day all the way around today, but it looks like this group may be coming to an end here in just a moment.
Oh, man. So I'm getting a word through my headset here is that Yavel actually joined late, so if they can find a way to continue to move on, it would be absolutely ginormous. But, I mean, Ixon is he's just running it right now. Just has to maintain currently almost, a 0.7 lead. Just cleaning it up, looking to finish the identity here and put the finishing touches on this medal.
And that's going to do it for our second round of 64. Congratulations to both players for moving forward. And again, I'm not surprised to see some of the groups as one-sided as we've seen. In the round of 64, right? You still have some weeding out to do, right? Exactly, and it would be for future reference, it would be kind of nice for us to kind of see what the qualifying times were, just to kind of compare and contrast. But ultimately, the best players are always going to be the ones moving forward. So that is the end of that. I believe we have another one. I think we're going to actually join Elcon's group in in progress here. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that in just a moment, so we can get that underway here in just a second.
Well, I'm going to cut in here. Twitch chat, how you doing today? I hope you guys are having a great time. So I want to know who you in Twitch chat are cheering for. What player, driver are you looking to try and make that step on? Who are you guys here to see? I want to know. I'm curious. I'm trying to, take all of this as much as I can. So obviously, just the most unfiltered shotgun blast of information is going to be Twitch chat, right, Hunted?
Yeah, I would hope so. It's certainly, gambling on Twitch chat always a lot of fun. But I did hear word, so just like last week, they actually staggered the start for the round of 64. So I believe we're going to be jumping into this group at the beginning. So we're going to get some extra content here, which should be a lot of fun. And again, I know that it's, I believe it's Elcon, Flo, Nico, and I think Mimo Jr. I believe are the four competitors. Don't quote me on that, but
Sounds
right. I believe that's who we've got going into this. So we should be starting in just a brief second. And we watched Elcon last week through a couple of rounds, and he looked pretty good. Couldn't quite make it all the way through to the qualifying stage, but I expect him to go far. I mean, obviously, one of the best players in the world when it comes to the grass and the plastic, but not every map is grass and plastic only, and this one...
Come on! What in the world?
This one it's going to be a challenge, I think.
Well, grass and plastic, it's just unfortunate. There's also dirt, ice, asphalt. How dare they have other surfaces for you to race on, But that would be a weird track to just race on grass and plastic. I can't imagine that.
Well, I mean... I don't think we're going to see them here in the TMGL, but they certainly do exist, and it is a lot of fun to watch Elcon on those maps. And again, like I said, one of the best players that we're going to see today, and we'll see if he can make it to that top 4 to qualify into the final. So while we get things set up and ready to go, I think we're just waiting for the players to join up and get this started. But again, already a pretty good start to the day. A little bit of drama, a little bit of some of the top players kind of showing their dominance early on.
Yep. And in case you're joining us a bit late, so we had Wizzy move on, and then we had Orcas just make magic happen at the end of the race in that first group. And then we had Hugo and Ixon move on, and now we're going to catch another one in this group of 64. And I believe the four, like you said, Nico, Flo, Mimo Jr., and Elcon. And so we're just getting, I'm imagining myself right now standing at a bowling alley, and I've got the bowling ball in my hand. I'm waiting for the pins to get set up, just ready to get locked in and knock these things down.
Yeah, we are trying to get all the servers kind of start all at once. I guess the second half of them all at once. So just corralling all of the
getting
players
all of them in
now.
there.
Yeah, just making sure everybody's ready to go here. So we, I'm actually surprised at how quickly the other groups ended. I remember last week we had some groups go pretty much the full distance. I mean, I'm talking, 3-4 different finalists in those early rounds. But this time around, doesn't quite look like we had any of that across the groups, and we will have a little bit more information on who advanced here as we finish up this round of 64.
Let's try.
But again, I'm looking forward to this group. Just like I said, Elcon's obviously going to be the most well-known player here, but there's a lot of good up-and-coming young talent coming into this group here.
Well, it's so fun to mention age in an esport, because you have players that are like 15 and 16, and then because it's not physically demanding, you can have guys that are guys and gals and everyone else in the ages of 30s, possibly 40s, and just being able to mentally understand what you need to do in a game. It's so cool to me. And you could have someone that is a lot younger, where in traditional sports, usually the older you are, there's like a golden age. I'm not going to talk about that too heavy, but usually the older you are, the better you can be. But the younger players can sometimes be those studs, especially in esports. And it blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Yeah, and I mean, Trackmania, again, one of those games that, we have players that, from the beginning. I mean, I remember playing the early days of Trackmania. It's really cool to see the entire community come together. And like I said, there's also a lot of new talent on display here today as well, as it looks like we are just about ready to go for our second group in the round of 64. Again, it's Nico, Flo, Mimo Jr., and Elcon. And the warm-up has ended. The race will begin in round 1 underway. We'll see who takes an early advantage. It looks like I was going to say it looked like one of the players caught off the line there. And again, I'm not sure. I don't know if there's like a connection issue or something's going on. But either way, I think we're getting back into it. Restart, and away we go for the third time, and I think this time is going to count.
Listen, long have we awaited, for we are being debated time and time again. I think hopefully maybe we'll make it past the third turn. Okay, I think we're in the clear now, Hunted. But it's not a 3-horse race right now, as the two in front have a decent lead on third, but it's just playing that catbird seat. We know this identity can kind of mix the pack a couple times around, as well as that grass and dirt turn.
You say it's not a 3-horse race. It's certainly a 3 Frenchman race, though, I will say that. Which is not surprising, considering it seems like every lobby has 3 or 4 of them. Certainly very, very good, very high quality players. Oh, wow. That's the first time we've seen that today, and it's going to be Elkan, who, if he can finish it off, he clips the checkpoint, but it's not going to be enough. Nico's going to take round one, and that's a bit of a heartbreaker there for Elkan.
I mean, you know, Nico in the right spot at the right time, and Elkan just sliding a bit too far, and I love seeing the brakes slide up as they go off the edge of the track, and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh.
Well, again, that identity, that's what we were mentioning earlier on. You know, it's not over until you can finish the identity, and that's a lot of these tracks here in the TMGL in general. Is that identity is the crucial part of the map, and it's most often the most difficult portion as well. As we see round number 2 underway, Mimo Jr. out in front, not by much. Elkan right behind him. Nico just about 5/10 behind Elkan, and this could again turn into who can take that bug slide the best. But Mimo Jr. losing a lot of speed coming out of that dirt. Elkan's going to take the lead. Can he hold on this time? It slows down just a bit, but it's going to be enough. He'll turn in there, and Elkan takes his first win.
Beautiful finish there, getting it just close. It's eking closer and closer, Hunted, until you hit that identity, and then just that perfect slide to put him in front and finish that one.
On board here with Flo, looking for his first win. He's going to be playing a little bit of catch-up this time, though, and I really like the way that Mimo Jr. has taken the early sections of this track. He's out in front again. This time, though, it's that crucial dirt section. Oh, and he hits the wall coming out of that wide turn there. Elkan again going to take the lead. Nico will give chase this time. Wow, that was very close to that inside wall there from Elkan, but he does hang on to it. However, not the greatest line, and it's going to be Nico able to catch up. And you know, we talk about this dirt transition upcoming here so much, but it's such a crucial part of this map. It gives you your final speed going into the identity as Elkan retakes the lead. And can he hang on this time through the bug slide? Nico with a bump. And that should be a second map win, and it will be. Elkan 2 up as Nico the only other player with 1.
Well, I mean, Elkan fell victim to that unfortunate bridge there early, and I think they're trying to refuse to ever do that again, at least right now in this round so far. And so surviving now, the only thing I'm really curious about is at what point will we see this orange car make it across the finish line? Because there are times where you see Mimo Jr. look so strong. It's just been at certain points, the checkpoints just don't like to work with his car.
Yeah, we just a couple of crucial mistakes from Mimo, I think. And this time not getting out to the start that he probably would have wanted. A little bit slower than the rest of the field. And I have a feeling that Elkan is turning this into a whizzy situation. If he's able to finish this off, we may have a 3-man race for quite a while here in this group. However, you can't count out Nico and Mimo Jr. They have been keeping pace for a majority of the rounds. Just Elkan has been just that much quicker. He will take the transition quite well there. So let's see what they've got coming into the bug slide. Looking good for all 3 players, actually. And Mimo Jr. has a better exit speed out of that group, but Elkan just a bit too far ahead. He'll take his 3rd win.
Moving to that finalist spot, you talk about, yes, it was a beautiful exit to give that kind of threatening run, but it was just too big of a gap. And so this is where Elkan needs to try and put it away. Like you said, pulling a reminiscent of a Wizzy in the first half of 64, but we've seen more pandemonium here, and I'm wondering if it's just like, I feel like I'm watching a plate spinning on a stick, and I'm wondering if it's going to teeter and go at any point.
I feel like that's a lot of Trackmania, man. What the heck happened to Elkan? I don't know what happened there.
He's gone.
I guess, yeah, he got sucked into the void. I'm not sure, but it looks like he is out of this one. Didn't quite take the jump properly or something. I'm not sure, but either way, Mimo's going to run with it. He's got the lead. Nico right behind him. Flo just about 2 seconds behind. He's going to have to hope for a couple of crashes in front of him. So Mimo looking for his first round win. Nico could get up to 2 here if he can track him down. Here comes the bug slide. The bump from Nico. He keeps it together, but it's not going to matter as Mimo able to finish things off, and he'll take a round win. So weird there from Elcon, but we'll see if he can get back on track.
Yeah, we'll hope that the invisible walls don't catch Elcon ever again. Maybe that part of the map didn't load for us.
Yeah.
Just got to be careful. The claw!
Invisible rock on the front of that jump. Elcon took it out for us.
Yeah, you opened the door for the rest of the drivers. What a kind and caring competitor.
Oh, absolutely. And he's going to do it again. Oh, this time avoids the invisible rock. I really don't know what happened. I'd have to go back and watch that replay. It's almost like he just took his hands off the keyboard, and that time tapping the wall. So Elcon struggling here in the last couple of rounds. And Mimo Jr. going to be the benefactor as Flo very, very far behind here, over a second and a half. Though Mimo still has to finish the track, and that's going to be the important thing.
I don't want to call your attention, Twitch chat, but I was just saying, I wonder when this orange car would do what it needs to do. The clean, the slide, a pretty finish, putting a beautiful little bow tie on the second win for Mimo Jr. And you said it, yeah. Elcon not having the runs that we know this player can have, as he's already put himself in that finalist spot. He just has to put it together and avoid the calamities, I guess.
Well, he needs one final, good consistent run, in my opinion. He's been the fastest player on the track so far in this group. Just can't make that mistake. And Mimo definitely seems empowered after those last couple of rounds. Off to a quick start yet again, though. Nico, ton of exit speed coming out of that jump, and he's going to try to track down Elcon, passing Mimo Jr., who I think actually crashed out there. Yeah, it looks like he is going to be a few seconds behind. Flo giving chase, but it looks like a two-man race from here. Elcon and Nico. Elcon needs one final round win, and he will move on to the round of 32. Nice cut of the turn there. That's going to give him plenty of exit speed coming out of this transition. Nico falling further and further behind. Going to need a crash from Elcon. Will we see it? No, sir. Elcon will finish things off here. So there's the consistent round we needed, Foo.
Yep.
And he is into the round of 32.
Was able to put it all together at the end there, but I don't want to hearken too far away. Mimo just put an insane time up with a 103.5, and so I'm curious if they can kind of repeat that performance, because, again, it feels like the players do these tracks in stretches, and obviously you can keep resetting when you're on your own, but now you have to put them together and try and build or piece together the perfect or best run that you can of the day.
Right, and that's one of the things, too, and that's something that these players, hopefully, I know some of the best players in the game definitely practice when it comes to, comes to these kind of competitions, making sure that you have a way to recover, even if it's just, respawning at the checkpoint and then, knowing what to do from there, how to regain the speed, how to make sure your lines are proper, even when, you have a mistake early on, because as we've seen, a couple of players, if they DNF, then, they don't get that opportunity towards the end, and it's never a foregone conclusion with how hard some of these tracks are. As Mimo Jr. looking for his third round win, he'll hold it together. He's been very, very good on the bug slides since we've started, and that will give him his finalist position. So will we have Elcon and Mimo Jr. moving forward? It looks like to be the case. Nico and Flo have to shut him down here in this round at the very least.
I want to see Flo hit the power spike. Come on, Flo. Bring it back from behind. Get a dub. But Mimo right now is just, I don't want to say the unkillable raid boss, because obviously Elcon has already moved on, but that's what it feels like right now with him just getting out and ahead. And you've seen that, it's a carrot of a car running in front.
Right. I think the real interesting thing is, obviously you can see in the top left corner there as well, Mimo has the best time coming in, in the track right now, and he's been very fast when he's able to keep it together through the midsection. And it doesn't seem like Flo or Nico have been able to find that same amount of speed. You can see it here again. Mimo Jr., very, very quick. And as long as he's got this bug slide one final time, he should finish off our group here. Beautifully done. Perfect slide. He's through, and we are done with this group. Elcon and Mimo Jr.
Ooh.
Top 32.
Top 32 bound is Elcon and Mimo Jr. And I mean, it was a big showing from both of those players. And so, I mean, you look at a map like Grassslide, and the identity is so unique in a lot of ways of trying to force that Grassslide and then having to cross on that other bridge. It just kills a lot of speed. And how technically sound can you be to keep as much momentum as you can and then finish with that turn so you don't hit that cross point?
I mean, Mimo, again, just to kind of reiterate on what we saw there, Mimo within a second of the world record time on that track right there. And Elcon, again, seemed a little bit more consistent, at least at the beginning. Obviously had a little bit of struggles through the couple of middle rounds. And that is going to be very important as you get further and further along. You can't have those struggles because the players are only going to be better to take away some of those earlier rounds that he was winning. But he is able to make it through. I think Mimo is going to be one of my players to watch as we move forward. He looked very fast on that last track, and maybe that's his favorite track. Maybe that's his best track of the 9. However, if he can keep that performance up, I could definitely see him going quite far.
Well, I mean, it's as much as you want to win, as in get first in your group, Hunted, all you have to do is be in the top 2, and so you have to win at least. I think the best way to go after this is, obviously, I've never competed in a situation like this in a Swiss format, kind of where single elimination, but I think that if you can get a win when all 4 players are in that first group, it gives you such a huge advantage. Even if you aren't the first finalist or the first winner, you still have that, hey, I can beat everyone in this group, including whoever just went out, so I just have to do what I need to do and now finish this to move on.
Oh, absolutely. And we are getting ready for the round of 32 here, folks.
32.
We have officially left the round of 64. So
cut in half.
Yep, we are down to the top 32, and it does close quite quickly onto that top 8, and that's where you want to be again for anybody just joining. The top 4 from today do move on to the final, if you will, of the Open League here in just about a month. So getting to the round of 8 gives you a chance to qualify.
I mean, at any point in life, Hunted, life lesson here, Twitch chat, you always can ask for a lot of things, but at most you'll always get as a chance. And that is what all these players should be given here. That's what you could be given here next week as well. And so it's just about trying to take that chance and run with it as far as you can. And groups of 4, single elimination. Oh, I love this format. It's so fun to watch. I hate to play it, though. It's got to be so stressful.
Hey, man. Well, that's what we should do. That's what we should do. We should try to qualify for next week. No, well, we're both going to be back in the booth because neither one of us are going to qualify for top 64. But it's open. Why not?
Why not?
Well, I mean, we might have to talk while we're running the final couple of qualifying laps. But oh well. It'll be fun either way. But again, we're into the final 32. I believe we're following Wizzy into his group here.
Domination.
But it's not just Wizzy though. This group looks pretty good on paper.
And this whole group looks incredibly strong. But again, you just kind of look at it and you think of round 1, it was Wizzy 1, 2, 3, and then gone. And then the rest of everyone had the true reset of having to try and find that first win. And so, in some ways, that gives Wizzy the huge confidence boost. And in some ways, he could be perhaps a little cold, but obviously having the warm-up time to get back into it, it could maybe break that ice and get him ready to roll.
Well, here we go. As you can see, we are moving on to touchdown. And like I say, we are following Wizzy. But this group in general, I mean, Wizzy, obviously we expect him to do well. He's had some very high finishes in recent tournaments before. I believe 3rd place in the the British and Irish Open not too long ago. So certainly expecting good things for him here. And he's out to an early lead again. And now Touchdown, a map we didn't get to see last week, at least in the Open. We did see it over the weekend, last weekend, for the Challenger and Grand League. And there's actually a new strat we're going to see upcoming. We'll see if any of the players do it. I would expect Wizzy will have been practiced on it, but they're going to try to cut both of the ramps into those final 2 checkpoints, or I guess it's not the final 2 checkpoints, but in the identity checkpoints. So we'll see. Does Wizzy go for it? No, he's just going to take the traditional strategy. And he actually bonks, and that's going to be devastating there. Speed Self in the lead, I believe. And oh no, maybe it's Uta. Yeah, they're going to race this one out. And Speed Self not going to be able to keep up. Wow, what a great finish.
Yeah, Utah with a big win there. Speed Self was hunting. And so, yeah, we saw none of these players try and go for that inside line to look for the ramp cut. And so you wonder if someone is going to harken forward or be that pioneer and try and find it first, because maybe they don't know about it or they don't feel comfortable on it. But at some point in time, you have to pull out all the stops. You have to throw all the cards on the table, Hunted, because it is win and move on, lose, and wait until next week.
Yeah, and that could be that could be honestly one of the more difficult parts, knowing you come so close. I mean, even if you're out in the round of 32, the fact to just to get here is quite the achievement. As we see Sven and Wizzy doing battle towards the top part of the group. Wizzy just about a 10th behind. And I'm surprised, honestly surprised that we didn't see the new strat there from Wizzy. I really thought he would be going for it. I don't know if any of the players really are going to be cutting the ramp. It doesn't really look like it.
A lot further of an entrance to the right, so maybe not intentionally there, but this is Sven going for it. Just wants to get a little bit of that tire to hit that checkpoint and then coming back down, landing in the lead, and now just needs to close it out with a sharp right, avoiding the post and getting the dub.
Yeah, good finish there, as Sven will take his first win, and Uta not too far behind, and Wizzy struggling a little bit here. But I like his speed through the earlier portions. I think he just needs to settle down a little bit, find his line through the identity, as that was a very, very low line there from Sven, and he keeps it on the track.
Worked.
I thought he was definitely gonna clip and fall off, but he keeps it on, and he's taking the lead.
Listen, when Sven takes that risk, it's calculated. When I take that risk, it's calculated, but man, do I suck at math because I don't have Geek's calculators behind me. And so now you have to wonder, with these 3 cars so tight, what point in the track can who make what work? Could it be that ramp cut? Could it be a quicker landing? Could it be a better entrance in the turn as Utah just dives it in with a beautiful run? But because they take the outside lane, the exit is stronger. And so back we go into a 3-car dive bomb. And Wizzy going all the way over and keeping that speed down. Oh my goodness, it's very tight here. Him and Utah. And back in the third, that bomb keeps on. So it's a 2-car race. Utah trying to hold on here. Wizzy going to dive into this turn and hold on to it, but he's a bit too far wide.
That's a wonderful finish from Uta there, and it's interesting to see the difference, the difference in ideology, the difference in strategy for that first checkpoint of the identity, where we've seen Wizzy go very high up and over, kind of the outside of the ring, and land on the left side of the track, and he comes down with a ton of speed, whereas the other 3 racers, from what we've seen so far, they try to take that low angle. They don't have a ton of exit speed, but they get their wheels on the ground a little bit faster, right? So it's a battle of strategies, a battle of ideologies here, and I mean it's hard to tell.
What hill are you willing to race on, Twitch chat?
Exactly, and I mean, hey, it's at this point, it's worked out for Wizzy, but he just hasn't turned it into a win yet.
It starts in the beginning. You obviously have that very unfortunate miscue there when you hit the first checkpoint, and then that last run there in that last lap where he went so high, this time going a bit lower to try and force Sven maybe to a bit of more uncomfortable spot. And this is once again where Wizzy was. Can he find a clean leading? Can he find this answer in that last turn? Neck and neck. Wizzy just a hair in front, but it's going to be a short run. Almost the inside clean from Zin, but he can't get it to go.
Just able to beat him over the line. So very close. Well done. And Wizzy will take his first of the map here, and we've got a bit of a race-off now. 3 players with at least one. Utah. One of the players that I think we have some of the least information on. I know that he's one of the youngest competitors coming into this matchup at just 17 years old, so certainly, again, talking about young talent, Foof, it's right here in this round.
And once again, age is really not a disparity in these games. It's what do you bring to the table? What idea? What line do you perhaps run? And Wizzy finding themselves out in front, surely looking to try and close this one out, but Utah does not want to let it go. He's just got to start closing in the gap. A beautiful run on the inside there. He's going to dive down again. Wizzy going to have the speed on the exit, and so that closes the gap. A run over that corner, staying tight on him, trying to knock on this door, Hunted.
Yeah, and Utah's definitely had the better of the identity from what we've seen. Wizzy still in the lead. Yeah, Utah just couldn't quite find that checkpoint, and that's a bit of a heartbreaker there. I think he had Wizzy beat coming down, but obviously you have to hit that checkpoint. It's there for a reason. And Wizzy will take a second round, cleaning that one up. So tied at 2 now between Wizzy and Utah, and I mean, that's the that looks to be the race right now. The race for first place in this group.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a race for first place, just who can find that most consistent finish, because Wizzy has such a strong first ramp landing and a beautiful run on the outside turn. But I love that dive that we've seen Sven, we've seen Utah take in that plastic corner. On just, can you put these pieces together to now find a way to close these gaps? So Sven putting himself in front, but Wizzy not very far behind. A tight race here as both of these players looking to try and find any and all speed is Utah.
Goodbye, rest of the field, and Sven even hits the wall. So speed self from last to first, just like that. And now all he's got to do is finish off the track here.
Come on, speed!
Oh, please don't hit the checkpoint.
Don't touch.
He's able to keep
a race.
It together. Sven, he did catch up, and now he's going to look to try to cut this angle. It's not going to be enough. Speed self with the lead. All he's got to do is find the finish, and there it is. From fourth to first, just like that, and he gets a point on the board.
Speed is key and able to get the dub. Everyone eats, Hunted. Everyone has a dub. It's 1-2-2-1 right now. And so the race continues. The hunt for a finalist goes on. Once again, we are now aeons into this track, Hunted, looking for the ever-fabled finalist. Would it be Wizzy? Would it be Utah? Maybe Speed Self with just the slow, controlled waiting to try and find their mark.
Well, it's Wizzy and Utah out in front as Sven wants to put his name in the hat as well. Certainly a very talented driver in his own right. He's going to have to play catch-up here on Wizzy, but he has a little bit of better exit speed coming out of that corner. He's going to take the dive down low, finds the first place for the moment, but it's such a risky line through there. Hits the side of the checkpoint, and now it's up to Utah and Wizzy. Speed Self going to crash out as well. That's going to be Utah, and it's Wizzy who will be the last remaining driver on the track, the sole survivor here of the round, and he will take the dub, putting himself in the finalist position. Yeah, little engine that could going up the hill there was Wizzy.
I mean, I was so worried with Wizzy hitting that last ramp I didn't think he was going to touch checkpoint. My hands were in my head because I was like, no, you don't hit the checkpoint, please. But doing that, getting across the line, finally giving us a finalist here. We have found the fabled finalist, but now can Wizzy close it out? Speed Self, this is one of the better starts we've seen from them right in the thick of it all. Currently in third, and Utah sitting in that little catbird seat trying to find any inside line because this point, it is just incredibly fun. Another dive inside. This is where Utah continues to make these plays. And look at that speed looking from Speed Self. So as we approach this turn, we're going to see who wants to risk that inside line. These players have already thought about it. They have their ideas made, Hunted. It's who wants to take that risk.
Yeah, again, we saw this is the crucial area here. It looks like a pretty even line throughout. Speed Self with a lot of exit speed there, but he just loses it over that little bump. It's going to be a race between Sven and Wizzy. Wizzy just avoids the checkpoint, and he's going to come down now. Sven still in the lead.
About the grass.
Yeah, a little bit of that penalty grass, and it is going to be Sven. Wizzy with the reset, and Sven will get back on the board.
Clean.
Taking his second round win, and the group continues to get more and more spicy.
I feel like we're just in a mixing pot right now, just slowly churning it around, waiting to see who comes out on top in the next rotation. And so, you talked about it. This is where the rubber hits the road. This is where you see the tightest and probably most competitive tracks as we continue to move on and competitive drivers. And already a sub-13 being posted by Sven, a huge run there, and I think we still might have a fastest run there. It is quickly looking for the race here.
Yeah, setting the new best on the group there was Sven in that last round. You can definitely tell he is locked in right now, looking for his third win, trying to equal Wizzy's finalist tag. But as I said, Wizzy here, Utah as well. Going to give chase. Wizzy with a pretty wide line, and that's going to cost him. Sven flying out of that plastic turn. Utah's going to try to catch up, but it's a tough checkpoint here. And what happened to Sven? He's gone. He must have hit the checkpoint or something. As I believe, yeah, it's Utah in first. Wizzy's going to give chase, and he comes down in front. He's got to make the last turn, and that's going to do it for Wizzy. He's on to the round of 16.
Utah had such a good landing, but you know what beats good, Hunted? Great. And it was a great landing on the outside by Wizzy, who keeps the momentum, pushes through, and now we have a 2-2-1. Utah Sven having the pair of wins themselves, looking to create a finalist. Speed Self had the one win, has definitely threatened at times. Now Speed Self just needs to find a little answer, probably in the middle of this track, to stay on tight.
Man, that line that Sven takes through that, he does it consistently. I've seen it probably 5 or 6 times now, but it scares me every time. As Speed Self a little bit wide on that turn, and it's going to be a race here between Sven and Utah. Speed Self, I mean, still 0.6 of a second behind, but Sven, in my opinion, has been the fastest on the plastic upcoming. Utah's had his lines, but more consistently Sven, as you can see there. Utah just trying to cut the angle, not quite going to be able to do it. As long as Sven can keep this on the track, I don't quite know what Speed Self can do. He's just got to try to hold on. He's got to hope, and maybe his best will be enough here.
Don't stop believing, because you've seen Sven fall so many times in that corner, but he is not going to allow it to fall this time, putting himself in the finalist spot. And Utah going for a little bit of a map detour there when he saw Sven taking that one. So a finalist, a 3-2-1. It's aesthetically pleasing, you know?
Well, it's an F2-1, so kind of just to rain on your parade a little bit. But
why would you do that, man?
Oh, it's fun. It's my job.
It's fair.
You're supposed to be the happy caster. I'm the jaded one. That's how it goes.
You talk about Sven's line there when he lands on that turn, wall ride almost. I've never seen a car gallop, but I think it's the closest I'll ever get to, and he just somehow rides it out. It is incredible.
And right now, I mean, with that line, he takes an early lead. It's going to be up to Utah Speed Self to try to throw a wrench in his plans here. Speed Self just clipping the bottom of the track. And he's going to have to hope for a crash out here in the top 2 drivers. Great line here from both. And Sven does have a little bit better of the exit speed, so he's going to extend his lead just by a little bit of a fraction here, but he hits the checkpoint, and it's up to Uta now just to keep it on the track. Will he touch? No, it looks pretty good through here, so Uta will move into the finalist position as well, and it's a race off now.
Now, I'm biased, obviously, Twitch chat. You'll see, because I love looking at blue and gold cars. They make me happy. You'll notice when I come back, I'm wearing blue and gold as well. And so I've been quietly hoping to see Utah pulling up. And that was a beautiful run there. Unfortunately, I mean, I've already mentioned it once. It's hard to reference twice. But they say comedy comes in threes. And Icarus flying too close to the sun, hitting that checkpoint, has been a bit too speedy in that entrance. So it's finding that, you know, happy middle ground. If not too high and not too low.
They're going to have to find it one final time, and it's the most important one of this race. Yeah, speed. He can extend our group here if he can take the win and give himself a second round. He is trailing a little bit behind in 3rd place right now. Uta again in a very familiar position, right on the tail of Sven. They're coming up to the plastic transition. This is where a ton of time has been made up by both players in the past. Uta going to take that inside line, and he's got a little bit better speed. It's going to be a race to the finish here. Whoever takes this checkpoint the best is going to have that early lead. Sven touches the checkpoint. Uta again with track in front of him. Speed is the only one behind. I don't know how close he is, a couple of tenths. Will he be able to catch him? I don't think so. It's going to be Uta to steal the victory, as Sven, a heartbreaking defeat, couldn't finish it off here. And that's going to be a tough round of 32 exit to swallow for him. But congratulations to both Wizzy and Uta as they will move on.
That darned checkpoint, Hunted. It's just in the way. Who put these poles at the top of ramps? What's going on? They're all in the way.
At least we're not running into invisible rocks this time. That's the important part. At least we can see the checkpoints.
That's true. At least they are very visible, you know? The visible walls don't happen to happen. But no, holy cow, a race of epic proportions coming on the end. And we had it. Wizzy moving on, and it looked like Spin could have done it, but not able to get it. So we're still in this round of 32, a double finalist here. And oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, Twitch chat, we came in at the right time. We already have Elcon through, but it's now up to one of these 2 players. Feed looking to catch up here. He has to do it to try and force another round. It's a 2-horse race. Both these cars going up. I'm going to have to land quickly. A slow land means he's going to get some advantage on that acceleration, but it just looks a bit too big. He just has to close it out here, riding in front, cruising possibly to this one, and gonna finish with the win and move to second.
So we join and we're done. Congratulations to both players. Elcon, again, we saw him in the last round. He will move on, unsurprisingly, I think, for a lot of folks again. But, you know, with some of the names just that we've watched here on the broadcast moving into the round of 16, man, I don't know which group we're going to be watching when we get there, but I have a feeling it's going to be very, very, very fun. I
mean, again, wait, I want to harken back all the way, Twitch chat. Let's go all the way back to the beginning of the broadcast. We had Water Glider and Tightrope as qualifiers, so these guys have already survived. I mean, my opinion, 2 of the most intimidating tracks on this list for us to possibly work around today. But you then think about what else do they have floating around? This could be horrifying. I'm sweating because I know a lot of these tracks can become intimidating. I'm just wondering, oh man, could they see possibly Water Glider? Could they see Tightrope again and be like, oh, we qualified well, so now we have to finish on it, and it becomes that 4-man race.
And, I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves, though.
Why not?
Because while Water Glider and Tightrope, I think we can assume, based on last week, are upcoming. But we still have a map in between. We don't know quite which one it is at the moment. But once we get into the round of 16, then the players will find out, and there are still some very tough maps ahead. Although Tightrope and Water Glider, two very, very difficult ones. But this round of 16, I believe we are moving into I believe Ratchet's group. So Ratchet, unsurprisingly, making it to the top 16 again. He was very close to qualifying last time. So we are just about ready to move forward here. I'm not quite sure who else is in the group. I just saw Ratchet. So we'll get that underway here in just a minute. But like I said, moving into the top 16 now. And this should be a great group.
It certainly should be a great group, but you just need to be careful because, with this kind of certain unknown of the map hunted, I want to just know what it's like for the players. So they just spawn in on a random blank map, and then it built around them like, oh, we're at X map now, or they get to know right as they load in for that warm up. My mind goes out to just this imagination of what it could be like when trying to adapt to this unknown possibility. If you're having to study and track this and run maps in preparation for the possibility of going to it next, if you found the win.
Well, I do know moving forward that we have Ratchet, Dionysus, who we just watched win. Let's see, Aside and Kokau.
Oh, Kokau!
The other two. So I believe that is the next group that we have, and from what I can tell about the players, from what I know about the players. We're not going to have a three French race this time. It's going to be the entire lobby.
Just go ahead and plant the flag down. It's hey, you know what? The Frenchmen are walking away with this one. They can't be stopped.
Well, no, hold on. No, Ratchet is German, is he not? I thought Ratchet. So we are going
to lied to. You lied to me.
I did lie to you. I don't know why. It's in my head. Okay.
Come on.
Look, man. It's hard to keep track of everything. But I mean, it's at this point we can always assume that there's going to be three French and one of either, it comes down to like three other countries. You can it could be Germany, it could be Great Britain or England, or I don't know. We have Czech Republic still in there, right? It's just at this point it's easy to assume that most of the lobby is French.
The safe assumption of that the fast player beating you might be wearing that red, white, and blue vertical stripes. You just need to find whatever you can. And so obviously with all four of these very talented players, I want to know, one, I want to know what track we're on, and then two, I want to know what they are using, folks, to try and find any time, any seconds, because usually I think of distances when I'm thinking of racing and driving, and so you're trying to think of gaining an inch or gaining a centimeter, but now it's time. It is intervals of time. You can't gain a second. I'm sorry, not on this competition at this tight when you're down to 16, so it's gaining tenths, hundreds, or thousands of seconds just to be that much better or that much cleaner at these certain parts.
Right. So, and I do believe we are getting the group ready to go. I know, again, we just have to get, all 16 players into their various lobbies and ready. We apologize for the delay. So, give us just a second to jump on into that. But again, this should be interesting for Ratchet. He came very, very close last time to qualifying for the final. He's back here in the top 16, and this is going to be a tough group. Again, as you can see on the left side there, it's Ratchet, it's Acid, Coco, and Dionysus, and I'm very interested to see how Ratchet does early on in this group. Obviously, you expect him to do well, but Clock Tower is an exciting map. And especially because we have a bit of a new ice strat here as well. If you watched Mutta last week, very fast off of the ice early on. Don't know how many of the open players are going to be utilizing that strat, but it is something to keep in mind. As you can see, Coco out in the lead to start things off here.
Well, it wasn't the cleanest one, but it certainly was one that two players attempted, and he's got a little bit of too much speed as those back wheels touched that outer area, and now Ratchet just given kind of free real estate here. The front running man, this German out in front of those three Frenchmen. Just got to catch up to him. Ratchet just trying to hold on here as we approach. A little slow. He's a bit hot, and
the wide line.
Seed. Beautiful there.
It was the wide line there from Ratchet. You could see as soon as he jumped, he was destined to touch that wall and a seed. The benefactor, but he does have to contend with the identity, and he looks right on line. That is beautifully done, and a first round win for a seed, as he will finish that one off. Coco in second, and for Ratchet, pretty good through that middle section, but again, just a little bit wide there on that jump coming over the turn.
It's just, once again, a very tight-knit start as no one has that clean little wiggle, can't get that traction going. But all four cars very tight into this turn. It's who can drive it in the best. A quick lead right now, but it's immediately cut out as Ratchet dives back underneath, looking to ride this outside line and wants to hold it. Does beautifully.
Up through the grass section, trying to, you really want to stay out of the air if possible through that grass transition, as Ratchet will maintain his lead. Much better line this time through the turn. As you can see, Coco giving chase. He's slowly but surely caught Ratchet, and he might be able to take the lead here into the final section to the identity. Who's got the better line? Ratchet won't be able to finish it off. Coco with his first, a well-run lap this time for him.
Just a beautiful job there of Coco. Just, I feel like as non-physical as Trackmania is, it is a very mental game. And when you have someone legitimately riding on you or riding right beside you or inside of you at times, it puts that stress and that power onto you, and you have to kind of, you feel like you have to force a bit too far. And Coco just not liking that one, just opting for the reset.
Maybe force of habit to hit that reset button. But right now, Dionysus with his best start so far. Ooh, and Ratchet just tapping that outside wall through the dirt section. You want to stay wide there to maintain your speed coming up and over into the grass section. Right now, a Seed trying to track down Dionysus. Will he be able to reel him in through the drift cancel there, and now trying to play catch up? Dionysus just has to maintain this line. This is a little bit of a risky corner right here. We've seen some players hit that little pole there, trying to cut that corner too hard. But right now, Dionysus, a pretty decent line. He'll be able to cut it in. Takes the tap, and that's going to be a Seed's second round.
He cut it in, but cut it too close. Ends up hitting the inside. A Seed. Again, this is why you never give up, folks. This is why you always hunt around, especially if you're in that second, third spot. Look for your moment. Try to find a spot to possibly snipe, as all four cars trying to get a little bit of wheel action there. And a Seed. I don't think you're getting another one here.
Hey, don't say that now. As long as he doesn't DNF, man, we have seen some crazy stuff.
Got a chance.
Crazy stuff in this open bracket before, but so far so good for these players on the identity. And I think, as you know, obviously this might sound very, very obvious to a lot of folks, but as we continue through the qualifiers, like as we get into qualifier 3 and 4, the players have more and more time to be well practiced on these maps. So obviously I think we're going to see less and less mistakes. There's a big one. And that's going to give Coco his lead. Ratchet will be right behind him, trying to reel him in. But Coco giving purchase here in this round. Round number 4. Can he make it his second win? Ratchet really going hard into that turn, trying to catch him. Not going to happen. And it's going to be Coco with his second of the game.
So here's the big thing that I always look at when you see them launch into Clock Tower. It's who wants to break early and who wants to break late. Both are technically viable. It's just you now have to worry about landing the darn thing after you get into the air. And so that is what separates both of those strategies. You know, if you break early, you have a little bit easier of a landing and you have more ground to run up, but you don't have the speed coming down. If you break late, you now have to save that break for when you land to not slide off. And so it is really just a balancing act depending on what side you want to go.
You know, you say that you break early, break late. My strategy when I play this map is to just not break at all and pray that I hit the wall properly.
Use the wall to break?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just bounce off the wall, hope I land on the track.
Oh,
there goes Coco.
Found the wall.
Yeah, they found it with the front end of his car for sure. Ratchet with the lead this time around. A seed not too far behind, gaining hundreds of seconds as he's going to try to cut this one in close, but Ratchet yeah, he'll maintain the lead. He's going to try to full send Willis seed, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Ratchet able to land it, and he's on the board now with his first round.
So the big thing there with Ratchet getting the dub is you're going to see diving in on that inside round. Yes, he's got a shorter track, and yes, he's got a lot of speed when he lands, so he now has to stop a lot of that momentum, and so it's, I hate to reference this again, but it's the Goldilocks zone. If you break too hard, you lose too much momentum. You break too soft, you're going for a dip in the water like Wipeout, and so it's, what can you do?
Just as well, you know, Ratchet setting the best time of the lobby, breaking that 106.3 mark, so really well done from him there. And that's kind of what we expect to see. He's had a couple of good runs that he either loses with a mistake, you know, a small tap here or there, or just you know, unable to hang on to the final jump. But setting the best time of the lobby so far with that last round. Wow, almost ran into that far wall, did Ratchet, but Coco, he'll come out of the loop with the lead. He takes that turn very well.
Dionysus holding on to it.
I mean, this is a four-man race all the way through the finish here. Everybody, okay. Caster curse.
How dare you? How dare you?
So sorry, Dionysus. We'll see. He's gonna stick with it if these players don't make it through. Coco falls off the side. That's a seed.
Oh. A bit too much of the force, riding a little bit too far on the outside, catching that outer lip and rolls in a seed. Once again, and that catbird seat takes advantage of it. And so, we have our first finalist.
First finalist in a seed. He's had some dramatic round wins for sure. I believe that was Dionysus who bounced off the corner there. Indeed it was. Ratchet with the early lead in this round, trying to throw a wrench in the French dreams here. I think that was a seed who just hit the pole through the middle of that transition there. So it's going to be Coco now, last player to give chase to Ratchet. And you give Ratchet space, he's going to use it. Though a much better turn through that drift cancel from Coco, but his line is too far inside, and now that's all three players crashing out in this lap. And this should be a free one for Ratchet, but before I curse it, let's see if he can make the jump. And he will land it just fine. That's round number 2 for Ratchet.
Every time I see one of those cars and I'm riding the POV, I don't have my controller in hands, but my hands like automatically clench because like it's gotta be nerve-wracking because it's the equivalent of the open net. That's what it is, Hunted. There is nothing but you and finishing the race, and so the only person who can beat you at that point is you, and so you just have to not overthink it. You have to not over-worry it. And Ratchet now trying to get his finalist spot as a seed has been the beneficiary of these kind of miscues and mistouches, and he just kind of sits in the back right now in 4th. Coco and Dionysus just waiting. Dionysus with an early dive. He's been usually in the back part of the pack, and so with him in 2nd, this is probably one of the better runs we've seen from them.
Well, as you say that, he's going to drift back into the 3rd position again. Ratchet taking the lead. We should mention that a seed with the fastest time now, that was a couple rounds ago. Really great turn in there from Dionysus. And that's going to give him his first little bit of space coming into the identity. But a seed hot on his tail.
What a run.
Looking to finish this one off here. He's got the lead through the checkpoint. Just needs to nail the finish. Underneath him is Dionysus. It's a race to the final.
Wow.
But it's going to be a seed just by 0.04 of a second. He will move on to the top 8.
What a run from Dionysus. I mean, he has been outside looking in, and that one there, I believe that's a seed setting the new pace with a 106.1, and Dionysus was nipping at his heels, getting hot, possibly at the right time. Can this black and red car find its strike and find perhaps his first win? He's out to an early lead hunted. Coco running right behind, and then sitting in that third place spot, you have Ratchet. And so you have to wonder, maybe it was just a bit of stalling and maybe it's falling out now.
Yeah, it looks like he just came out of the that dirt turn just a little bit I don't know, just kind of a little awkwardly, and he lost a lot of speed there, a lot of exit speed, and it's turned into a 2-man race between Coco and Ratchet, both players with 2 wins. If either one of them cross the finish line first here, they will be a finalist for the next round. Coco's got a bit of a lead here, 0.3 of a second on Ratchet, but here we go. Coco's had a little bit of trouble here before, and he's wide. That's going to be Ratchet to take the win.
Big dubs there, and so Ratchet able to do what he needs to do now and put himself in the finalist spot. So, Ratchet looking to finish this one out.
Now, ultimately, it's just it comes down to, will we see the double French qualifier, or will it be only one Frenchman and the German making it out of this group? That is the question at this point. Is Ratchet running second to Coco? Coco's been pretty consistent. It's just he's struggled a little bit with the identity a couple of times. Obviously, that last round going too wide, hitting the wall and slowing down. Wow, what a really tight line there from Ratchet.
Break, though.
Yeah, I think it. From what I've seen, it is a little bit better to kind of run that a bit wider so you can cut it in a little bit earlier. But he doesn't really lose too much time because of it. It is still a neck-and-neck race here in this round. This Ratchet is going to just squeak out a lead, and this could be him qualifying for the top 8 as Coco going to reset, and that gives Ratchet all the space he needs. Congratulations to him. It's Ratchet and a seed out of the round of 16, and they will have a shot at qualifying for the finals.
Ooh. Moving on. So, Hunted. It is continuing to shape up. These races get tighter and tighter. We just saw Clock Tower get played. And, you know, Clock Tower is the only map that I say that racers will actually ever physically lose to time. But, you know, it is unfortunate at the end of the time when you hit that identity. And a great showing for both of those players who moved on. What a run and what a start.
I mean, what a day we've had so far. It's been a whole lot of fun. You know, we've seen some really great, great performances from players that we expected to today. And now this is the best part is that it all culminates into that top 8. We may...
It's coming together.
Okay. Yeah, we may have another round. No, actually, I think we are done. Yeah, I think the top 16 is done. So, folks, we are going to take just a short break here for a moment just to get everything set up. I need to get some more water because this has been a whole lot of fun here so far today, but we are going to bring you both of the top 8 groups to see who qualifies for the finals. So make sure you don't miss any of the action. We'll be right back here on the Trackmania Twitch channel. Don't go anywhere. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Trackmania Grand League Open. It is week number 2 qualifier, and we are into the top 8. So the next 2 rounds, extremely important. The top 2 from each group will be qualified for that final in April. And I am Hunted here. Joining me is Foof. And again, we've seen some fantastic Trackmania already, but it's only going to get more and more dramatic, but also more tense between the players here in this round.
I mean, all of the expletives and all of the wordplays you can think. You know, the tension you can see in the air. It's palpable. You know, you can cut it with a knife, but it's just up to these players now to finish. Because we're in a group of 8, you win, folks, and you get that first or second spot. Like my co-caster said, like our wonderful host said, you move on to the finals. Not just the finals of today, but the finals of the Open. So this will give you your shot to move on. You have to do what you need to do here.
And what a map to qualify through on. It's a water glider, and here we go.
What tires?
Wizzy, Elcon, Wawa, and a Seed. Wawa, the only player we haven't seen so far today. We'll see how he does in this group. It is a stacked group for sure, and only 2 players can make it out of this this group of death. Really, it's going to be Wawa, who has an early lead, but he is going to be overtaken by Wizzy. Just couldn't quite find the landing there onto the plastic. And Wizzy showing off his speed early on here, though this underwater section can throw a wrench into a lot of players' game. He takes it so well, able to use those wet wheels to their limits there. Just need to keep it on the track. It's a bit of a blind uphill there, but he is more than happy to take that one on the inside. As long as he doesn't clip this final wall upcoming, he's going to play it wide, and that is just fine for Wizzy. First time on the board, it's a 59, pretty much flat there. So Wizzy looking pretty good, first round win.
It's 59 flat with a small bump at the very end of the number. A great start for this heat and a better start for Wizzy as he's out in front. But Aseed had such a strong start and is doing so again. So with all 4 of these cars so tight here, 2 can enter this lead well. And that is a wonderful run by Elcon, who puts himself into that second place spot. He's got to finish the wall ride and doing so beautifully. A slowdown here gets him a little bit of that momentum loss, but he's riding so well right now. Him and Wizzy in a 1-2 match.
It's crazy how much time Wizzy is able to make up through there. He was towards the front. Elcon has that run, and then Wizzy just leaves everybody in his dust. He's got over 2 tenths on everyone right now and just needs to finish things off here. Looking very, very solid. Does slow down a little bit there. That allows a Seed to make a run, but he goes just a bit wide on that corner. And it is oh no! He's off! He takes the final corner a bit too far, and it's a Seed to find his first round win.
I mean, the Seed has been challenging the entire map. It was just an unfortunate run of events in that first one. So this one there, it looked like Wizzy was going to actually try and beat that time that he had just posted, but obviously with the bad launch and losing that reactor up, all of a sudden the car is just into a free fall with no control of where you're going.
It's not usual for the British to be afraid of water, but looked like that was the case for Wizzy.
Historically.
Yeah. Okay. That's like the understatement of the century.
All right.
It's pretty good.
Oh!
There he goes. As a Seed, he's going to find a bit of purchase here. Elcon, about a half a second behind. Yeah, now makes that just about 2 seconds behind. This should be free for a Seed if he can keep it on the track. As he will round the corner here, taking all the time he needs. That much better.
Beautiful.
Right straight through the center, and that will be a Seed second round.
I'll see taking another one here. And so, I mean, obviously that underwater spot when you go down and have to fight through that turn, keeping that momentum, if you do not enter it right, and you do have a bit too wide of an angle, you are just going to throw yourself into that wall, and that kills many, many runs.
Yeah, we've seen that. It's that second section that you're talking about, where we saw Wizzy unfortunately crash out. It even just the underwater section is difficult, but coming out of it with the tires, being wet and that tough kind of back and forth corner, you really have to take it slow here. As you just saw Wawa unfortunately crash out there, as Seed and Wizzy both will take the turn quite well. And I'm not surprised that it is a race between these two players. They have been very good all day long, as Wizzy is going to try to round this turn. As Seed wants to play catch up, but he's going to take that wide. And as long as he keeps it on the track, he's fine. And it's 2 for Wizzy.
Everything's fine. It's just skating that dangerous line on the razor's edge, walking so you don't get cut, but another beautiful run and another finish.
Our first sub 59, I think, too, for Wizzy.
Yep, a 58.9 there. Very solid run, and looking to continue to improve as Wizzy finding his stride and starting to find his line. And once again, a really good separator here is entering that loop well, and I am so sorry, Wawa.
Yeah, Wawa DNFing already here. He's been very good through that early section. I'm a bit surprised, struggling a little bit there. He's more had issues through the plastic sections, as Wizzy takes a very wide line. Yeah, I think he even taps the wall as well. Elcon's going to ram right into that wall himself, as it's going to be a Seed now, looking to be our first finalist in the group. Just needs to survive the hovering section over the water. We haven't seen a race for the finish yet in this group, which actually kind of surprised me. And there's a new best time, 58.7 for a Seed. Definitely quite quick through there.
Put a absolute beauty on display there. 58.7 to open this door and give himself the finalist position. A Seed looking to make it 2 in a row and put this one away. It's such a tight start. English is a very difficult language, especially when you put words together so frequently as Elcon. This is such a strong spot in the track for him, but he ends up losing either certain different spots or finding the wrong lines, because he drives that wall ride so well and then pushes Wizzy, but Wizzy, I don't know where you pull out this magical acceleration, but just catches up and passes him. This is a pretty line. Can Elcon hold on to it?
To keep it, and he does. He had to slow down a little bit there, but I don't think that's going to cost him. As long as he can make this transition work, he's in a pretty good position. Wizzy not too far behind, just about a 10th. He's going to try to pass him in this first corner, and he takes it extremely well. Now we have a bit of a race to the finish, and it will be Wizzy to put his best foot forward. A new best time and a new finalist.
Wow, another one, Wizzy putting his sign on that finalist as well. So you have 2 cars in the red as both of these players trying to sign their honor. We had someone hit the water and go out, and so I believe that was a Seed. And so this opens the door, and there goes, I believe, is that Elcon?
Yes, I think so, yeah. Oh. It's just Wizzy and Wawa, and if Wawa wants to, oh no. He taps that front wall. He's gonna keep going. Still in second place. Quickly coming on as a Seed. And for Wizzy, not the fastest out of the early section, but everybody behind him making just some small mistakes. So he maintains that lead, gives himself a little bit of spacing. But a Seed coming on strong there through that water section. But is it going to be enough? He's got to have a very, very fast final section to catch Wizzy. He's able to close the gap a little bit, but it's still going to be tough. He's got to take this turn well. I don't think he's got it. Wizzy just needs to keep it on the track, and he will. He's our first player through. Congratulations to him. He's qualified for the finals.
Another 59.6 there, not a 58.6. And I just want to bring Harkin back to his Seed's Herculean effort to catch back up what was a disastrous start to just pressure Wizzy.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, it seemed like Wizzy, for all the mistakes that were made behind him, he didn't quite have the spacing I expected. But, yeah, it was a heroic effort from a Seed. He just comes up a bit short, but he still does have that finalist. he's got pretty much all the time you could ask for. He can make not as many mistakes as he wants, but he only needs to win one of the next, at the very minimum, 4 races. He's got the lead here. Wawa trying to give chase. This may be a very quick group here, Foof.
Oh, I mean, it's a very quick group in pacing of time, but yes, looking like it's going to be a very quick group as well as in pacing of how many rounds we run. A seed in a very strong point. Elcon trying to close it out, but that just little bit of a stutter slows it down. He's going to try and cut in, but does not have the speed. A seed just needs to slowly walk this one through, doing just that, and that's a double finalist. Moving on, Wizzy and a seed.
A dominant performance from both players. As you say, Wizzy and a seed moving on to the next round. Well, not only to the next round, but also qualifying for that final in April.
Moving on.
Exactly. And again, folks, just remember, we're going to see at the very minimum 4 of these players that we watch throughout the qualifiers in the Challengers division next season, because the top 4 in those finals get an instant pass. Then from there, it's going to be super exciting too. Like I'm really looking forward to that final. Obviously, we've got a lot of Trackmania to play before that, but then we have that promotion tournament, so we could see a potential 8 players go from the Open League to the Challenger division next season, which is quite awesome. So. But, I mean, congratulations to both Aseed and Wizzy. That was pretty dominant there. I'm a bit surprised it was that easy for the both of them.
Well, I mean, it's just they are well-practiced racers, and obviously, maybe that is one of their stronger tracks on it because they got to qualify on that as well, and they were incredibly strong there in that qualifying. But now we're moving on to the last 4 of our top 8 to see which pair can move on to secure their spots.
So that last round, we saw what, some 58-7, 58-6s? Is that right? Or I'm sorry, not 58, 57-6s, I believe. If
it was a 57, no, I think they got right.
Or no, I'm sorry, 50. I think I was right, 58-6, not 57. But yeah. I mean,
throwing it for a loop, man.
I was just trying to remember. I know that we saw some really fast times in the sub 59 is very fast for these groups, and we saw a couple of those in the last round as Crosshairs is going to have the early lead. And this group now we see 3 different players that we didn't get to see last time or throughout the day at all, really. Crosshairs, Sam, and Tankrom. Ratchet will also round out the group. He DNFing already in this early round. Not quite sure what happened to him. Yeah, just needs to cool down for a moment.
Well, it is a very tight one here. Tankrom going to the outside line. Sam with such a dangerous run, but Crosshairs just holding on, having that win in the crosshairs of that car, able to take the first round.
So I don't know for sure, but last week, Tankrom was Canadian, and now this week he's French.
Oh, 58-8.
So I'm wondering if maybe he's just trying to channel that inner French, magic to give him a win. He was our North American hope last week. Was Tankrom. At least he was repping the Canadian flag. So I don't know. Maybe he. Maybe
Mr. Worldwide.
I mean, he could be. I mean, he could very well be French Canadian. So why not?
Why not? Well, here is my thing, Hunted. We have only 2 spots left for our finalists. We have 4 racers, and currently Crosshairs is sitting in front of the race and in front of the lobby. But Ratchet able to jump inside. A slow run here. It is a 2-man dance. Both of them taking their turns, trying to take the lead a step. The reactor up. It's going to be a quick race. Who breaks early enough then finds that inside line. It's a dive. Oh. That's a bump coming out from Crosshairs. Ratchet sat out round 1. Okay. Going to take round 2.
Oop. Fastest time, 58.7. From Ratchet. Very close to our best time in the last race as well. So well done to him. He takes his first win, and Crosshairs comes up just a bit short. And I mean, this is more of what I expected. Those tight finishes between players. Again, we didn't really see that in the last group, and I'm surprised with this being the qualifying round that we didn't really get a whole lot of that. But at this point, the pressure is definitely on for these players. The bright side for anybody who doesn't make it, obviously, is that this is only qualifier number 2, and you're also like eliminating 4 of the best players next week. You know what I mean?
Oh.
As Ratchet, he's going to take a bump there. Sam in the lead. Tankrom right behind him, giving chase, closing that gap. He's going to almost take the lead here. Just a couple of hundredths behind. But can he beat Sam to the corner? It looks like he will. That's a wonderful line from Tankrom. He's just got to keep it on. And he just narrowly nicks that one from Sam. Very, very close run towards the final. But Tankrom will join Ratchet and Crosshairs with a win.
And then setting also a new round high with the 58.6. And he didn't even get the water bounce. He went under it to slide under. So he could technically get a little bit more time in that one. And so, having 3 racers, 1 win apiece. As I'm kind of thinking about how this whole thing lays out here, Hunted, as it goes on, a lot of really good racers will move on to the finals, and obviously they won't be in these races again. So you could say maybe it gets easier, but then you have the power creep of people who are getting better at the game now getting a chance to come back these next weeks.
I'm glad you could make the point that I was making last lap a lot better than I made it last lap. You pretty much said the exact same thing I was trying to say. But I realized that the way I said it was probably incoherent. Which is, par for the course for me. It's fine. But yes, I agree with you. Funny enough, somehow I agree with that statement. As
no way, right?
Ratchet's going to take his second round. A very clean lap there. Was that a 58.4?
58.4!
Wow. Very fast.
Okay, Ratchet.
The fastest we've seen of both lobbies so far, so really well done. He's putting his best foot forward here, and Ratchet was a player we watched last week. He came up just short. He's really looking to qualify this time around, and he's put himself in a great spot.
All I gotta say is I saw somewhere in Twitch chat say that this might not be Ratchet's type of map. That was a lie, okay? Because Ratchet is running with this one 2 wins and has cut the pace even quicker now. Currently sitting in that second place. Sam out in front, still trying to find his first win in front of both Tankrom and Ratchet. Out in front by a very large time, almost half a second right now, and currently residing just about out of reach. As now it's half a second on both of these drivers. It's cut down to only 2/10. Ratchet looking for the run.
Yeah, he's got the speed. Sam had a little bit of a bobble there, a little ways back through that middle section, and now Ratchet's gonna give him a run for his money.
What a dive!
Ratchet able to cut the lead down, but he goes wide, and it's going to be Sam. He'll follow through, keeps it on the track, and he's got his first point as well. So a little bit overzealous there from Ratchet, and now things get even spicier.
I mean, it is just starting to mount. The stories writing themselves. The chapters are being laced, as now we have every single player a win under their belt. They know they can do it. It is just up to stringing 3 of them together before 2 of your opponents do so themselves. Sam with a beautiful dive there to put him in first. It's about a 1/10 lead on almost all of the pack except for Tankrom, who now looking to try and run back into that first place, currently residing in third. And so we go underwater once again, popping back out these wet tires. So dangerous. You need to be clean with them and get them all the way out so you can start turning sharper.
These players have looked very good coming out of that second water section. As you mentioned, on those wet tires, it's really come down to who can perform the best in this final section. Tankrom goes wide, but he's got a little bit of speed. It's going to be a race between Crosshairs, and he takes off. Crosshairs able to cross the line first, and it's going to be 2 for him. He's going to match Ratchet, and again, this group gets closer and closer.
And it is just starting to, burn the candle at both ends, Hunted. It is up to one of these drivers, one of these players, one of these community members, one of possibly you, Twitch chat, next week to separate themselves from this group. You currently have Crosshairs residing in second place, Ratchet in first, but it is just a shuffling of deck chairs as they are racing around on this wall ride. All three cars so tight here. A beautiful dive there from Crosshairs, puts it back in the front, looking to hold on here. He goes a bit too far wide into the penalty grass. Tankrom out in front, and so this has been another strong point from Tankrom. He's going to go under here, riding the water, riding the wave, but riding that wave of momentum is Ratchet, who's just looking, but he bonks, and so now it's a two-man race.
Talk about riding momentum. Crosshairs with an incredible section coming out of that, out of the secondary water, as Tankrom's just going to try to hold on. He went wide last time. Will he make the same mistake here? Crosshairs going to try to cut him off. Not going to be able to do it this time. Tankrom has to keep it together, and he will. Ooh. That's a beautifully run lap there from Tankrom. Able to keep it together all the way through, and we've got three players on 2 wins here. Sam, the lone man with just one, but you know he's itching for another win.
I mean, it is just important to try and string together. And I want to see Sam, you know, put us all at a 2-2-2. Just deuces wide all over the place because I love it. And I want to see more of this group because it is so tight. It is so hotly contested. The wall ride a bit too high. Falling back down Tankrom. And I believe out as well. So it's Sam and Crosshairs, the two left on the pace.
This is what we needed. Sam looking really strong right now, but Crosshairs, he's been so fast through this section, and he's got Sam starting to be reeled in. Very close now. He's got the speed. Gonna slow down here. Don't want to take that turn too hard, but a little bit better there from Sam. He's got the lead heading into the final section. There he goes, takes the turn extremely well, and he's just need to keep it on, and he does. My goodness.
Oh my goodness.
200ths of a second there on Sam, and guess what, folks? We at this point we pretty much got a brand new match. It's just the first of 2.
22 thousandths of a second to make us that deuce is wild. 2s across the board, and now round 9. Who is going to be the first finalist? Once again, all 4 hitting it well, but I believe there was a touch on that back post, and so now only 500 separating them now up to 800, possibly a 10th into this one. It's going to be up to Crosshairs. He's been in the second place. Last round was looking to try and make a move, and he's going to have to do it in the same spot, but this time it's Ratchet who's in front, who lost a lot of momentum. Can he hold on? Crosshairs losing some pace, but it's still a mad dash. These 2 cars looking to try and take this one here.
It's incredible how often Crosshairs is just directly behind the leader. This time it's Ratchet. Will the German be able to put himself into the finalist position? He's got to keep it on, and he does this time around. Won't make the same mistake, and he's got his 3rd round win. It's insane to me how often Crosshairs is playing second fiddle to these players right now. He's been in almost every single round in that second place coming out of the second water section, and it's incredible to watch that final run that he's able to get. He's definitely the fastest player through that middle section.
And now he just has to put the finishing touches to these laps, unfortunately, Hunted. And because second is always great until you're out of the race, you have to put wins together. And so Sam doing what he does well, getting out to a big start, and someone caught. That is an abrupt right. And that is abruptly right out of the running is Sam. Once again, this is a spot where you see Sam with a big lead, but oh no, ping-ponging Ratchet, given free reign, and Crosshair is the only one.
Again, somehow, it's like it's fate. It's written in stone that Crosshairs will be the second coming into this turn. He's got to track down Ratchet to keep him out of the qualifying spot, but I think Ratchet, he's looking very, very poised and will take that first spot out of the group. Congrats to Ratchet. He makes it into the finals and will be a finalist in April as well. First one out of the group, but it's a race now for the second.
Now I have a question. To keep the permanent bridesmaid status, does Crosshair win here to get second, or does he stay second here in this one as well? Because he's got a great start. He's put himself out in front.
Yeah, I think for to be the bridesmaid in this, he just needs to hope that everybody crashes each round. I just think at that point, Either that or I don't know. That is a very good question. I would think it would be heartbreaking if Crosshairs is not the second finalist out of here with how many good runs he's had that he's come up just a bit short. And speaking of Sam, he's going to reel him in this time, kind of shoe on the other foot this time around. And Sam a little bit better up and over that grass.
Can he snipe?
Transition, but Crosshairs does have the lead. Looking to be fast through the corner.
It's going to be here.
It's going to be really close.
It's going to be
Sam
there.
Takes the lead.
He's got to save it. No. He doesn't. What?
Wait, what? Oh, no, okay, Crosshairs reset. I thought they tied. But no, Crosshairs couldn't finish as well. And Sam, some very shaky finish, but he gets over the line.
I've heard of parking the bus, but never perpendicular parking at the checkpoint to win and then rolling across in a flaming chassis. You know what? That's just the best way to do it. Sam with the first finalist. Crosshairs, you need it, and you need it now, my friend.
Oh, this is incredible. What a group.
Oh.
What a group, and again, only 2 of these players can qualify for the finals. Not the greatest turn there from Crosshairs. That's going to give Sam the lead, and Sam could end the group right here, right now, if he's able to hang on. Crosshairs giving chase. Tmgl not too far behind. It's going to be Crosshairs slowly but surely creeping up on Sam. Sam has had the better of this transition here, though, up and over the hill, and it looks like he's going to get another good run this time around. He's the first into the final water section. Crosshairs to catch up. He goes. Tmgl needs to stay straight. He won't be able to do it. Sam will maintain, and he will qualify with Ratchet for those finals. What a fantastic group, and what a finish.
I mean, Tmgl just came out of nowhere with the steel chair and then loses that momentum by going a bit too far. Sam holding on. Heartbreak for Crosshair and his fans, but it is pandemonium and pure enjoyment as we have our 4 finalists now who get to move on not only to today's Final Hunted, but the finals of it all.
I mean, you couldn't. We have seen some heartbreaking finishes. We have seen some heartbreak in the first couple of weeks. I don't think there's anybody probably as disappointed as Crosshairs right now for not being able to qualify. I mean, again, how many runs did we see him?
Get it?
Just, hundredths of a second, in second place. Coming into that final turn, not able to finish some of the races, and I mean that's Trackmania, right? You can run second the entire time, but if you're not able to finish off these races and push yourself over that line, you're gonna have to be here next week, and hopefully he'll be back in the finals again, or at least the semifinals to qualify for April's final. But man, what a great group to finish the semifinals on. That was fantastic.
I mean, you can't really pitch it to be a better ending because, it is. Can you win and make it in? And then this is 4 drivers, 4 players looking for that next step hunted, and they were fighting, scrapping for anything. There were players looking for the outside lines on those wall rides. They were diving in the middle. They were braking early, braking late. I felt like I was watching like mad scientists with the goggles and, just coats flapping in the wind as they look for these lines.
I mean, that's kind of what you have to do, and a lot of it comes down to consistency. I think that's what gave Ratchet the edge here. He was very consistent all across the track. We saw him, 1 or 2 mistakes in some of the really technical, really tough areas of Water Glider, where we've seen just about everybody. I mean, even Panda had some struggles on Water Glider last week, if I remember right.
It's a mean map, man.
It is tough, but Ratchet. Consistent. He just brings that very, very quick, very I don't know what to call it, but he's just very, very straightforward, very consistent. He's very German about the maps, if you will, with the way that he races. So I'm happy to see him qualify. So he will be in that final, but we do have one more match. It is kind of the grand final of the day. It's more for bragging rights than anything else.
Oh, of course it is.
We saw some hijinks from Panda last week in the final. It was a lot of fun, but I believe it is going to be tightrope to finish it off. Which, of course, it's going to be tightrope. Why not?
I mean, we already saw it from Speed pandemonium here on tightrope. It's going to be something to enjoy on the last finals. It's who wants to risk it all. Think of it as kind of a victory lap, but players can take this track off, but they can also kind of push themselves because they get to see hunted this competition that they're going to see later on.
And you can also make a statement to the other racers that say, "Hey, I'm going to be the one. I'm going to be the one that qualifies for the challenger.
I'm that
division."
guy.
Exactly. And tightrope, I have a feeling just the way that tightrope is. It's a very slow track. I mean, it's a slower track. It's very technical. The ending is obviously extremely difficult to do at full speed, and to when you're racing somebody, it comes down to who does it best at the end there. I have a feeling that assuming I don't know all the specifics for the final and everything like that, but I have a feeling tightrope will make or break people's promotion into the challengers division. So I love this map. I think this is my favorite map of the 9. It's so much fun to watch. I'm sure it's probably not the same for the players. Yes. For me sitting in the booth who doesn't really have to do anything
awesome.
but yell at the cars, it's a lot of fun. But for the players, I'm sure it's a stress-induced nightmare every single time.
Well, Twitch chat, I want to know personally, we have our 4 finals moving on, but who do you guys have? We have this group of 4. Who do you see walking out on top with this win and putting it in a 1, 2, 3, 4? Who do you guys have? I mean, and I'm looking at it, I really do not know because it has just been so tightly in, we talked about it. It is the great unknown when you look at tightrope. We didn't get to see these guys as runs, so we don't know what they look like on this track, and I mean, it is a horrifying thing when you are sliding on that edge.
Well, while we get ready to go for this, I'd love to ask chat, after all of the drama and everything we've seen today, who is your MVP of the day? Who do you think's been the best driver up to this point? Obviously, we still have the final to go, and I'm sure there'll be some extra drama here, but who has been your MVP between the 4 we see, Wizzy, Sam, Seed, and Ratchet? Or, I mean, even anybody who didn't qualify. I don't know why they would be an MVP, but you can list them if you want. I don't care. Your chat, you're going to do whatever you want anyway. So, as we start round number 1, and have you... While we're starting this, have you seen the world record by Pac on this map?
Absurd.
Absurd. It's a 1:10.4, and it's unbelievable. I mean, it was. I love watching that run every single time. It's insane. I think a 1:12 here should be, or a
benchmark.
I mean, I wouldn't say a benchmark. It's just a 1:12 for OGL is insane.
Right now, Sam, who is coming off of the, miraculous finish of finishing sideways and then backing up to finish it and get through to this round, out to a very solid lead. Wizzy behind, and in third you have Ratchet, so looking at a 4/10, 6/10, and then a almost 3.5 second deficit. No, now 4-5 seconds for a Seed.
Yeah, I think a Seed probably just going through the motions at this point. Doesn't want to DNF, just in the case that everybody falls off, as you see. Yeah, a little bit of an error there from both Ratchet and Wizzy. Sam, I posed the question of who has been the best today, and I'm seeing a lot of Wizzies in chat. Not surprising, he's been very good. Sam has been the biggest surprise to me, I think. Like, with how fast he's been, how consistent he's been, against some of the bigger names in the community, right? Like, Sam has just been very good. As I curse him, it has to happen. But I've really enjoyed watching Sam play. I'm excited to see how he does in the qualifier, or in the final, I should say. But I think rightfully so, Wizzy does also deserve an MVP ballot there for just his domination throughout the day. But regardless, he's got a lead here in this round, Foof, and looking for his first win. We're going to come up to the identity in just a couple of moments. It's really where it all comes down to. And this is why I love this map, because it oftentimes comes to the identity with at least 3 cars, closely grouped up together.
You should just get to see one car possibly go launching. It's always fun. It's car confetti. Very expensive looking, but fun and very appeasing to the eyes, but not appeasing for the players doing it. Wizzy and Ratchet in a little bit 1-2 race. Trying to bait it there, but he can't hold on. Wizzy able to do just that, walking it home, getting their first win.
And the Seed struggling. 2 DNFs in a row to start things out. He wasn't really in the conversation in this round after an early mistake. And I guess we're just going to skip this round. As you see, Wizzy takes that 111.5 as maybe we have, I don't know, maybe a little bit of disconnect. Oh, yeah, it looks like Sam might have DC'd there.
Sam thought it was over. Best of 1, right?
Well, it does say the match is paused, so at this point, at this point it is just practice. But, yeah, hopefully we'll get Sam back in the lobby. Unfortunate that he DC'd there, but let's talk about that 111.5 from Wizzy. That's a very, very fast time.
I mean, we were talking about, joking about the 112 being the point to hit, and, just a very, very slight 111.5, just easy. But, you've got to wonder who can find that way and who can find that mark.
And it was a fast lap, too, from Wizzy. The craziest thing to me is that the world record is over a second faster than that, which is just, it's incredible how these maps can get broken by some of the best players in the game. But,
Hanzik, while you do this, I'm going to go fix this on the back end, so you give me a second. I'm going to hop under the desk and go get these all figured out. So you guys don't worry. Right. I got it. We'll get him back.
Yeah, Foof will go ahead and... I'm not really sure how...
Maybe. Is that working? No? Okay.
I'm not quite sure how fixing something on your end is going to allow the player to reconnect to the server.
I think we got it. All right? I think I got it. The hat's off. I lost my headset, so, don't worry about that. But we're going to get... Hopefully, Sam, I got the okay. I got the green light under the desk. I think we're good.
I'm not sure how you fixing your personal setup is going to get Sam back into the lobby, but anything helps. I appreciate your attempt. So, oh my word! Hopefully, we'll get Sam back. Did you see him under the desk?
Like I said, I got the green light from him, so hopefully it should be okay. So and. Got to break out the hard hat on only the hardest and toughest of situations for technical difficulties, folks. So,
the fact that you have a hard hat that doesn't completely fit.
You're welcome, Twitch chat.
Wow. Okay. Apparently, Sam was under the desk. So we fixed his problems, and we are back underway. He's still got that 1 win to his name. Wizzy won as well, and we are off and racing once more.
Oh, man. Oh, look at all the riding on the outside and a quick touch there. And Sam once again out in front. And so, the disconnect, obviously, the disconnect buff, using it here to his full advantage. A dive, and now very good lines here from a Seed and Wizzy as they close in on Sam. Sam needs to be perfect here as Wizzy starting to nip at those rear tires. A good jump there will put him right on top of it. And so, truly a 3-man race as we continue to move on.
And we're coming right up to the identity of the track as well. The back-to-back tight ropes. This has been this little sausage section right here in the last qualifying day was very, very important. We saw races won and lost there, and it looks like all the players very comfortable moving through that section. As here we go, final little bit of Sam nosedives into the bottom of the track.
I didn't fix that part.
I'm thinking, I think Sam probably could have used your hard hat there. That was a big wreck. I don't know how much the hard hat would have helped, to be honest. It was pretty tiny. It would
be OSHA-proofed at least.
I don't think it doesn't fit your head. Where did you get that? Please tell me you didn't. Please tell me it's not like an actual hard hat you've worn on a job before.
Yes, it does fit my head. I just didn't have it tightened so I could take it off. I was trying to save the hair, but the hair's been messed out anyway. But right now, a mess of the field is happening is because Wizzy hits the wall. There was another dropping off, and it's now just Ratchet and Sam on this main pace. Sam holding control right now, and this is where he's been so well, but I think he got a little bit of that dirt penalty, but is not seeming to show it at all, as Ratchet just looking for any way back in to try and find a cut to catch up to Sam.
Yeah, this has been the battle so far in these first couple of rounds, but it ultimately comes down to the tightrope at the end. That's a bit of a bump there from Ratchet. That's going to give Sam a lot of time to work with. He can take this as fast or as slow as he wants. You can see him, just playing it safe. Really smart there from Sam. That'll be his second round win.
Need to be very, very, very careful, Hunter, because we now have 2 players on the precipice of that finals. And it is a very dangerous spot when you look at a Seed and Ratchet, because they are out of that winner loop. They are out of trying to find their way to the finals because Sam and Wizzy looking to march forward.
You want to know? You want to know?
I'd love to.
What I fear my toxic trait is. If I was Sam in that last round where like everybody crashed out behind me, I would just full send it at the tightrope. Try to go as fast as possible, just to like set a time, to really rub it in that like I just destroyed all of you guys in this round. And then I'd probably fall off and lose. But I'd still, you gotta full send it sometimes.
Well, you have to send it for wherever you're from at some point in time in your life. And, when you make those decisions, it's, usually the most fun to watch from outsiders and sometimes the best times you'll ever have. But Wizzy currently in front, Sam in third, Ratchet behind. And so Sam looking to try and put 2 in a row. A good dive there. He closes some in. And so it's a 2/10 and a 4/10 behind this leader of Wizzy as we get to the identity here. Who wants to make that dangerous push? A little bit there. Ratchet's got it. Ratchet's holding on and he saves it. No, he hits it. I think.
Oh my word, he just got him. Just beat Sam. That was incredible. What a finish. That was very, very close. Unfortunate there for Wizzy that he takes the dive. But Sam, he was, 0.05 of a second away from snatching victory there. But it is Ratchet who will take his first round win. Congrats to him. But, that's why I love this track, man.
Yeah.
It's not over until it's over. That's why I really love this track. Seriously. Wait, what happened to Rat? I think he hit that wall coming out, and he just didn't have the speed.
Invisible rock strike again?
I don't think it was an invisible rock. I think it was a very visible wall, and I don't think he meant to hit
darn
it. I still need to go back and watch what happened to Elcon in that round. I'm not sure.
Listen, man, can we get the best or the worst Photoshop people to come in a video editor and make it a really, really bad rock JPEG that just explodes on contact?
The rock from that SpongeBob episode.
It's just it's not just a boulder. It's Sam in first place.
Oh my God.
But Sam right now holding on, had a little bit of a technical issue, back and in front and back and in control as a Seed trying to find a way in. Sam a bit loose. He's holding on. He's playing safe, but he hit it. He can't get to it. Sam just needs to maintain, and maintain he does.
That was it for a Seed. That was his first win, but he can't hang on. That's going to be Sam into the finalist. Will he be our winner here today? Just needs one more round win. The fact that he's playing after that DC and everything like that, having any kind of technical difficulties and still winning these maps is
let's now get the hammer
impressive.
back out. Well, he's still fighting it here, so I might have to go back under the hood and fix a couple things again. But it does not seem to be hindering him too harshly as he's in the finalist spot. He's in control still. Wizzy chilling in second place, looking for a cut, and that is a beautiful dive in. That's the line Wizzy's been looking for, and he's still on top of Sam. This is a better run than I think we've seen from Wizzy for a while, but now this is the part where Sam runs so clean. You need a good landing here, trying to get all tires down, and that's Wizzy doing it, and it is a mad dash right now with both of these cars on top of each other.
And it's going to come down to this sausage section again. Can Wizzy make up a little bit of time? He runs it a bit wide, and it's going to lose him a little bit of that exit speed. He had to cut back across the the plastic, though he is able to maintain with Sam. It's going to be a race to the finish. Wizzy going to take the lead.
Got it.
Though Sam right back. And here we go over the tightrope. A seed in it as well. Sam slows down. A seed. No!
Oh.
The pole will end a seed's bid and will send Sam to the gold medal position. He is our winner here today. We still will run this group out to determine second place, but congrats to Sam. I told you, man, he's been super impressive all day today for me. I personally got to give him the MVP now that he's won this. It's been a wonderful performance from Sam. As we still have three racers left to go, and a seed's going to get a large lead to open this round.
And I mean, just a seed was just, there were 3 racers, and all of a sudden there was just a seed out in front. And Wizzy once again has found a line in these particular set of curves to just continue running in. But this is the spot where he loses a little bit of momentum. At least he lost it on Sam. Right now he's holding it on a seed. Still, both of these cars trying to land early, and that is Wizzy catching down, who wants the inside corner. Both take it. They're going to roll slow here and roll up and back down. Now, on this little roll-up, who can get down to that lip quick enough but have a clean turn will usually get to it. Now we get to this dirt track. Who wants to hold the line the longest and catch that exit so you get your tires above that line?
Well, it's going to be Wizzy and a seed. Into the identity. Oh, Wizzy with the bump. A seed just needs to hang on.
Nope.
And he's off. Wizzy will take it. And that'll put him in the finalist. And a seed again. I mean, that's what, 3 rounds in a row where he's had a chance at victory and just can't hang on through the final couple of turns.
And it is just breakneck pace right now from both of these players. Ratchet, you know, I feel like he's sitting in the catbird seat. He's just kind of wants to be that relative unknown until he needs to be. And currently out in front, I believe, here for the first time in a while. Running in front of the seat. A very beautiful inside turn. Does not touch the wall. We've seen a couple of kisses there that kind of slowed him down, but this pace looking absolutely exquisite as he holds on.
And again, I mean, we are watching these players battle it out for that second place position. Wizzy in the finalist, or with the finalist, I should say. Ratchet and a seed battling for first place in this round and going back and forth with one another. Sam giving himself a little bit of an early exit in this game with winning the whole thing, regardless of all the tech issues he was dealing with. Unbelievable stuff from him. Seriously, what a great day. And now it's going to be Ratchet and a seed. Oh, Ratchet unable to... Is it going to be Wizzy? It is going to be Wizzy, isn't it?
It's going to be Wizzy!
Oh, my word.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Congrats to Wizzy.
It works!
He will take second in the group. So, GG. Sam in first, Wizzy in second. Ultimately, it means not a whole lot, but, you know, well done to both players today. Well done to all 4 for qualifying into the finals.
Mm-hmm. I mean, well done to all 64 who made it through that gauntlet of tightrope and water glider to have a chance to move on. Thank you to everyone who came out not only and competed, but thank you, Twitch chat, for coming and stopping by and supporting your favorite drivers and supporting your favorite game. Hunted!
Yes.
We did it!
We did. It is week number 2. It's sad. This is my least favorite part of the cast because this is the point where we have to essentially say goodbye until next week. But it has been 2 awesome weeks of Trackmania Open qualifiers. We've seen some drama. We've seen some excellent racing for sure. And it's only going to continue. Make sure you're here next week as well on the Trackmania channel for that Open qualifier. Obviously, tomorrow, the Challenger League and the Grand League will run their 3rd week. So you're not going to want to miss that. And again, tune in on Wednesdays for the cool little talk show that we have here on the channel as well. We had Mutta on last week. Got to pick his brain a little bit about the tracks and how he was able to how he was able to win last week. So make sure you keep it here on the Trackmania channel. Follow if you haven't yet. But any last words before we sign off here?
I had a blast on it. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Trackmania fans, for having me, and thank you all for being here.
Well, folks, again, thank you so much for watching. That's going to do it. Make sure you are here next week for round number 3. We've got half of our finalists, and we're going to find 4 more. Anyway, folks, thank you so much. We'll see you then, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.